So Max Euceda got hurt on machines. Looks like he's quit lifting. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Thought I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today. But a quick reminder, if you guys will please click like down below, we'd greatly appreciate it. If you aren't following or subscribe, please do so and drop me a comment down under the video. All right, let's get over to the topic. This is someone who I covered in a live on YouTube a while back. With the whole fake natty thing, and then I kind of addressed his injury later. All right, this is a problem for people out there who follow these influencers. You guys follow, and I say you guys, I mean those of you who may be fans of these people. You're young, impressionable people. When you see some guy who uses a little bit of trend, got some decent genetics, knows nothing about training, and you start following them. And you get guys like this who get 1 million+ followers. And I had people ask me to check his stuff out, and I had kind of said he has no idea what he's doing. This was before the injury. I'm like, he is very clearly on trend. He has a look that shows that his physique was built specifically by 19 NOR type anabolic compounds. Like there's a very distinctive look to that. He's not really that big. He's just lean and on plenty of trend. His training was extremely ineffective, right? This training was extremely ineffective. And I kind of said that I'm like, this training is not going to work for most people. Again, it was all machines, everything slow, machines, and not even heavy. And it's not like he was doing high reps. So you look at this style of training, and we know based upon research it's ineffective. We know from observing people in the real world it's ineffective. And it's kind of like the point I make with a lot of people. Why do they follow people who only have a few years of experience? Like the fitness game, the lifting game is really a lifelong endeavor. The best coaches out there who get people the best results. I mean, look at what some of my lifters do. Like how many of us are old guys like this who our clients get phenomenal results, but we have 20+ years, 30 years in the game and years and years and years of coaching experience. And this is what I try to tell people. When you are looking at these influencers, stop looking at the filters and the lighting and the drugs and the genetics on these younger guys and go, do they have any actual experience? Because they usually don't. And it's not to say that one day they won't have experience, but they're usually just a product of hitting the right drugs with decent genetics for a look. Okay? This is nothing to do with knowledge. It really isn't. And, people don't get that. But then it's always you try to remind people, this person only has 5 years in the game. Do you really think they could have accumulated that much knowledge? Be careful of that. Okay? Who are they coaching? How many people do they coach? How long have they coached people? Because you shouldn't be getting information from people who only know how to get their own results. You don't know what their genes are. You don't know what their drugs are. Doesn't matter that they claim natural. It's irrelevant. Everybody claims natural. So you've got to say, well, they have no track record of helping other people. They have no knowledge base. So therefore, their information probably is a fair guess. It's a fair guess to say it may not be good information. They just know how to get their own results in their own body. Doesn't mean they're going to be able to help you. Okay? They don't know patterns. They don't know that, hey, maybe about 70% of people will respond to X a certain way and the other 30% won't. They have no clue of this because they don't have large pools of data. And they're not coaches who do it full time comparing those notes with other people. But now you see the example. This person had really what I had described as this is really bad training. This person doesn't know what he's doing. And then he gets hurt. And then he's quit lifting, and seems like he's quit making content, on the tubes. And you look at it and go, 1 million people followed this guy. 1 million people got advice from a guy who is a short timer in the game, whose training is so bad that he got a almost career-ending injury on a machine, not on a deadlift. You guys saw me throw around a 585 deadlift on here. I might have a 500 squat somewhere here. I'm like almost 50 years old. Okay? He didn't get hurt doing something like that. I mean, that's almost understandable. I don't think it is that understandable. I, of course, will say if you're getting hurt on a 500 squat, we need to have a talk about your fatigue management and weak link. We need to have a serious talk. And I'm saying that as a coach who promotes longevity under the barbell, but at least that's more understandable. The guy got hurt on a machine, on a chest press machine, locked into place, no way to even use bad form. How bad is his training? How terrible is his connective tissue strength? And that's what people aren't looking at with some of these training methods. All right, so his training method works okay for building muscle on drugs. What about his tendons? What about all the support musculature? See, because that's the other thing too. His training style doesn't promote either one. He's fragile. And we saw it. So now you have a guy who is so fragile that he gets seriously hurt just doing lightweight on a machine. A million people followed his advice who are now possibly fragile also. And this could all be avoided if people just stop following these short timers and go, oh, he's got a full, nice aesthetic look. That's from drugs. That's not anything to do with his training. That is using specific drugs that have their own set of problems and side effects. And in fact, I don't recommend those specific. I don't recommend you do that personally. Would be my advice not to. I don't do it. I don't recommend that you do that. Again, specific stuff you could tell he's using. They also, those ones make you injury prone too. People forget that, which we saw here. But again, fragile. So how many people have now put themselves in a position where they're making no gains, they're fragile, they could get hurt on machines at a gym because they followed somebody based upon a drug look who literally has no idea how to train, how to stay injury free, how to get strength, how to build tendons, any of this stuff. Nothing. And now he's stopped doing it, stopped making content, admitted with the injury he hadn't worked out in like 6 weeks, hasn't even touched because he's too depressed. Again, side effect of the drugs, the mental side effects. Wow. Why I always say be careful who you get advice from. Look closely at who they are, what they are saying, what they are doing. Okay? Are they a long timer? How many people have they coached? What are those results? Are they hurt? This stuff matters. Matters a lot. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.